Yo guys, welcome back to King Oles, and yes, I'm now back for my Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou undercard matchmaker. So I've got some big fights that I do believe should be put on this card, realistic ones as well. That I want to happen and think should happen on this card. Not predictions or anything for what the card will be, but it's just fights that I want to be on the card, and like they're realistic fights. I've got my reasoning behind all of them and stuff. So anyway, let's get right into it with our first one. I mean, this might kick us off, probably won't though, but yeah. Then we've got first of all Fabio Wardley versus Otto Wallin. I think this is a great fight that should be made, in my opinion. Wallin, I don't know if he wants to come back too soon on March the 8th after getting bashed around the ring by Anthony Joshua on December 23rd. Is March the 8th a bit too quick of a turnaround? Yes, I mean, the majority of the time it would be. But when you've got that Saudi money on the line, though, it can persuade you. So, yeah, if we actually do see Otto Wallin on the card, I won't be surprised. And if it's against Fabio Wardley, I won't be surprised. I feel like it's a fight that should happen at some point, at least down the line. I feel like it'd be a great addition to this card. I think it's a good fight for both. I feel like it's definitely one that Otto Wallin will fancy coming back. Wardley's a good name to have on. Wardley would be a good name to have on Wallin's record as well if Wallin can win. Fabio Wardley would definitely fancy his chances in this fight as well, though. So, yeah, I think this is a great fight that should be made, and I do think it's a realistic one as well. Next up, we've got Jai Opetaia fights on this card. God knows who it'll be against, though, but it won't be against Breeders. It will not be against Breeders. It'll be some warm-up fight or something, another one. Probably he's taking on like a mandatory for his Ring Magazine title or something, or some other British fighter or something. God knows. But it won't be Breeders. Hopefully we'll see that fight sometime down the line later this year. But yeah, I do think the master Opetaia will be out on this card. I'm pretty certain he will be. God knows who will be against though, but it won't be Breeders, unfortunately. But yeah, I do think Opetaia will be on this card. Okay, next up, we've got Anthony Yard versus Lyndon Arthur 3. Okay, so obviously quite a few people know Anthony Yard has already got a fight on the Liam Williams versus Hamza Shiraz undercard against some nobody. Anthony Yard hasn't even, had his opponent announced. Pull Anthony Yard off of that card and stick him on this card on March 8th and have him in a trilogy against Lyndon Arthur. Do that fight. Make this fight happen. Lyndon Arthur obviously fought Bivol on the 23rd of December. Didn't really take too much damage. Yeah, I believe he got dropped, but he basically just took a schooling for 12 rounds. Didn't exactly get, take a load of damage though. He just got schooled. I think it's a great fight in my opinion. I want to see this trilogy. I feel like it's a great addition to a Saudi card. I think it's one that will definitely especially interest all the British fans as well. Make it happen. Make this one happen. And yeah, as I said with Wallin, I feel like, I'm not sure if Arthur will come back so soon. But again, the Saudi money's on the line. Arthur could be persuaded. And if it's against someone like Anthony Yard as well, then I don't think he'll refuse to take it. So yeah, or we might want an easier tune-up fight just before an Anthony Yard third fight. But surely this fight's got to happen at some point. And I feel like if it happens on the Saudi card, I think it's quite likely to happen. Okay, next up, we've got Martin Bakole versus Ajit Kabayel. This has got to happen, man. This has got to happen, and I believe it might actually happen, this fight. Basically, Martin Bakole needs to stop, moaning and crying and everything on social media, making a GoFundMe page and stuff like that, which he's now deleted. He did do that. It's out there, if you don't believe me, like a GoFundMe page because he wants to become a world champion. He's claiming that loads of fighters have ducked him. Look, Kabayel is like, if they are, which I don't know, he's probably lying about that, knowing him. But if they are, like, Kabayel's not someone who's going to duck anyone. Kabayel will not duck out of any fight. Kabayel's such a game fighter. He will fight anyone. He's proven it. Obviously, taking on Makhmudov. He's our point is pushing for a Tyson Fury fight to happen. He's not going to decline any fight, Caballero. If you say Caballero's declined a fight against anyone or ducked anyone, I won't believe you. Like, Caballero will fight anyone. And I think he'll fight Bicoli, hopefully. Caballero will take this fight any day of the week, and I hope Caballero beats it. I hope so. But, you know, I think it's a tough fight for both. But honestly, I think it's a great fight as well. I think it's a great fight. Good styles. Yeah, I think it's got to happen in my opinion. So, yeah, Bicoli and Caballero, I think it's 100% a good, solid fight to make and must happen. And I believe it can do as well. I think it's quite likely. I honestly do think we might actually see this on this card. And I'll love it if we do. It's a great fight. Next up, Zhilei Zhang versus Frank Sanchez. Okay, this is an interesting one because, well, like, we'll get to my next one in a minute. But, yeah, obviously, it looks like Parker's going to be fighting Filip Hrgović. Which, yeah, that's looking fairly likely at the moment. So, ideally, I would have wanted Zhang to fight Parker. But if not, fight Frank Sanchez. That's what you should do. Frank Sanchez is like number 4 in the WBO. Then you've got AJ, who's the next guy after Zhang in the WBO, but he's obviously fighting Ngannou. Then I think you've got Anderson, who's the next guy after Joshua. There's zero chance he fights Zhang. Then it's Joseph Parker looking to fight Hrgović. Then you go on to Frank Sanchez. It's not in a fight. Make it happen. And like Zhang's not someone to avoid a fight. Zhang's not gonna, duck Sanchez. He's not. People say that Sanchez is a really avoided fighter. Well, yeah, like he probably is. But Zhang's not the kind of guy to avoid him, I don't think. Zhang will take any risk, and he's proven that. So yeah, I think this fight happens. I do. Like, Sanchez will win this fight, and I'm pretty sure Zhang will as well. I think it's a great fight as well. I think it's a great stylistic matchup. Sanchez will probably look to box around Zhang, but Zhang's going to look to really take his head off. But, Sanchez got some good power as well. I think it's a great stylistic matchup again. So, yeah, this has got to happen. I think it's a great fight. It's a great fight. Must happen, this one. Next up, and my final one, obviously I spoke about it yesterday in my video, Joseph Parker versus Filip Hrgović, co-main event. I think this should happen. It's a fight I do want to see. And it makes sense. Hrgović have been calling for it. I think it's a good fight stylistically as well. I do. I spoke about it yesterday. But both guys seem to want it. I'm sure Hrgović has been the main one calling for it, but I'm sure Parker will take this fight. And yeah, again, I think this is a fight that 100% interests a lot of people. So yeah, I think this should be co-main event. I either want to see Parker versus Zhang or Hrgović, but right now it's looking more likely to be Hrgović. So let's get this one done. Let's get it sorted. Let's get it on the AJ Ngannou card. Oh yeah, and by the way. Going quickly, talking back onto the Zhang and Frank Sanchez one, just real quick. Obviously, I made a video the other day about obviously, Zhang and Wilder being close and possibly being made. I really don't think Wilder should fight Zhang. No, I honestly really think about it again. I don't think that should be the next step for Wilder. If he does fight Zhang next, though, leave it a longer amount of time. You don't want to take this fight in March, especially with how that ended. It looked like he did take a bit of damage in that one as well. Don't fight Zhang, Wilder. I don't think you should. Don't even like Wilder too much, but he's an entertaining fighter. So we ideally want him to fight Zhang, or if he does fight Zhang, we want Wilder to be at his best when it happens. We want to see a good fight, and Wilder's definitely not ready for it yet, in my opinion. Especially this soon. If they were calling for it in June or something, then I'd happily say I'd happily welcome it. But no, I don't think it should happen. I think Zhang should fight Frank Sanchez, not Wilder. And Wilder's come here for loss anyway, so he doesn't even deserve the shot at Zhang. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching the video, King. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace out.